Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast in a game between Virus Satiini versus KiWiKaKi here on Metalopolis. Satiini spawning as the red Terran player at the 12 o'clock position. Meanwhile, we have KiWiKaKi spawning as the blue Protoss here at the 3 o'clock position. So this is going to be Terran versus Protoss, close air spawns here on Metalopolis. And I believe this is the Blizzard version of the map, so it would have been actually possible to have an ally spawn here. We'll see how this particular game goes and how this particular game plays out. We are gonna see pretty standard build orders. I'm not expecting anything too tricky at this stage. As I'm already seeing the standard supply depot, a barrack should be coming up next in just a moment, getting up to 13 probes. 13 over 18 before getting that gateway. And I'm curious as to why KiWiKaKi built his pylon so far away. That means that his gateways and all of his production buildings will be in the very far back. It will make it very difficult or delay any scouting information. If an SCV comes up the ramp and then takes a look right around here, it most likely will not find anything. Meanwhile, back here, Satiini is currently getting a barracks right there, and he will be able to train up some Marines, and they'll be able to sit there and deny any probe scout. But KiWiKaKi hasn't scouted out yet, so with no real scout and also a gateway being warped in here, and in addition to the assimilator here, I am looking and waiting for that pylon, and I wonder where exactly it's going to be built. And this is all very tight, kind of peculiar place on how KiWiKaKi is setting up his base. We now see one SCV making his way down over here, and it will be walking up that ramp in just a moment in order to find Satiini. Is he going to go far enough in is the key question, and yes, he does. He does go far enough in, sees that there are a bunch of probes mining away, the Cybernetics core, all of your standard buildings, and now also a second assimilator, and that is a very early gas. So a very early gas play coming in from KiWiKaKi most likely means that he is not going to be expanding anytime soon, and he is definitely not trying to do any very early aggression with any 4-gate pressure. So we'll see how Virus Satiini responds to that scouting information, knowing that his opponent already has double gas, already has 6 or 4 probes mining gas. Apparently KiWiKaKi only likes to have 2 per gas, as opposed to the standard 3, as a zealot now making its way out. Then when you have double gas like that, it looks a little strange to only have 2 probes per gas. You get an odd number like 176, 180, almost 200 gas a minute, not quite the 224 to 228 that you would normally expect, as we are now going into double gateway. So this is a very strange move by placing down the double gas here. Unless Satiini was actually keeping track and noticed and realized that his opponent had gone double gas, he may be suspecting, I would say, either Dark Templars or Void Rays. And I would think we would now start to see more and more Marines being trained, as the factory is now going to be added on, or Tech Lab going to be added onto that factory in order to get some siege tanks and perhaps some blue flame research. We do have Zealots and a Zealot and a Sentry trying to make their way out, and it's going to be a very difficult bad day for those units, as they're going to run straight into a group of Marauders. And yeah, that one Sentry unable to even get off a force field in time, and it looks like that Zealot going to get taken down by KiWiKaKi as well. So that was a really bad maneuver by KiWiKaKi. KiWiKaKi losing his Zealot as well, unable to stop what would be a very effective harassment right now. 2 Marauders and a Marine. That Marine would be able to get some damage. The Stalker trying to get some damage onto those Marauders before they walk up that ramp. It would get 2 shots off, and now we have 4 Stalkers on the move, and there is already a proxy pylon in place. So this is a 4-gate. Wow, so this is a 4-gate off of a double assimilator build. This is not something that your typical 4-gate, and now the pressure is happening at that 6-minute mark. 1 Stalker is down, but the Marine and that is going to be completely finished over here, as more units now warping in here. So we are going to get a Sentry, a Stalker, and a Zealot. This is not a 4-gate, this is a 3-gate with double gas, so it's going to allow for more Sentries. So this is definitely a different strategy, but the timing is about the same. At the 6-minute mark, he wants to try to push up this ramp, perhaps warp in and some additional units as well. As soon as that cooldown has been completed, yeah, should be warping in a lot more units. Or what is he going for? He's going for a Nexus now? That is a really strange maneuver. to now go for Nexus. It looks like he was investing a lot into this rush here, and now trying to expand at the same time. So he is not all inning with this rush. He is now setting up this Nexus over here, trying to buy himself time, and now Unit's going to try to walk up that ramp. No Guardian Shield, which is a bit of a surprise. There's the Guardian Shield now, and now the Stalkers are dealing damage back towards those SCVs. There's not too many units inside that bunker, and that really is the problem there. SCVs now trying to come in, trying to repair. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to repair all too much, as the Stalkers are being very careful to focus down those other units, and out comes a Thor. And Thor, the big guns, showing up at just the right time to deter that attack there. Those Stalkers can have a very difficult time trying to go toe-to-toe with a Thor, as that Thor just going to sit there on the ramp. And the Thor does have a decent amount of range, and that Thor able to two-shot. Is he going to be able to take down the Thor? Down to 20 hit points, 4 hit points. There it goes. SCVs now, and once again, stopped mining for a very, very long time. The Nexus was cancelled. So with that Nexus now canceled, KiWiKaKi is pretty much all inning with this strategy. Now also trying to go for a robotics facility in order to perhaps trade some Immortals. Immortals, very, very powerful in order to try to stop that Thor. That Thor gonna have a very easy time just fighting against those Stalkers. A Thor with the support of a bunker can two-shot a Stalker very, very easily, and it can also almost two-shot a Zealot as well. Zealot's now charging up the ramp. Stalker's now coming in as well. One Thor over here, and both sides battling out. More SCVs are taken down, and they are just dying left and right. SCVs falling ever so quickly, and now Satiini just down to a lot of gas and not that many minerals. He needs to get another command center up to start double training those units, as a Nexus now finally being placed down here by KiWiKaKi. I don't think he really needed to cancel that Nexus. I wasn't really paying attention to when he canceled it, but it doesn't look like it would have really affected the outcome, except that he would have been able to have a much larger economy by this stage by training additional probes and mining off of more mineral patches. This is a beyond saturation here, so he would definitely be able to mine more as the Stalkers once again try to move out, and he's got to try something new. He cannot continue to just walk up a ramp and think that he can at some point break it, because it's not going to happen. But now that there are 2 Thors in play, those Stalkers' days are numbered. They should probably be trying to retreat, and more Immortals should be trained in order to counteract those Thors. So we currently have 2 Immortals, an Observer being trained as well, and the units can move across the map. If he actually tried to drop in the shadows here, or tried to drop in the shadows right here, he could be able to drop the Immortals and then convert into that phase mode, and then warp in additional Stalkers, and then 2 Immortals and 5 Stalkers at this time would be a lot to deal with for those Thors. I believe the Immortals just deal so much more damage per round of attack, especially with those hardened shields and probes finally being transferred to that low ground. So KiWiKaKi should have the stronger economy now, as soon as more and more of those harvesters are mining. 900 versus 800, even though there are, I believe, 1 mule in play by Satiini. The Observer still parking itself over here in the main base, as the command center now going to land and try to establish this natural expansion. This is not going to work out very, very well. The Marines, however, just making it difficult for those stores to engage, and now the Stalkers are going to run all the way home. Now, Colossi slowly starting to be added to this group as well. There's the robotics bay, another pylon warping in. We should probably be getting an assimilator down over here, as well as 3 gas Colossi. Doesn't work out all too well. Colossi are very, very expensive gas units, 200 gas each, and on top of that, it's another 200 gas to get that extended thermal lance range. You can see Satiini now setting up that last assimilator there. So this is going to be 2 base play, and both sides have stopped really training. Spoke too soon. Satiini is still training more and more SCVs as he desperately needs to. He did lose a lot in that engagement. Meanwhile, KiWiKaKi is slowing down to only producing 1 probe at a time, and perhaps should be looking to take this high ground expansion here at the 5 o'clock location. Army-wise, 2,000 versus 1650, 675 gas versus 825, so KiWiKaKi still in the lead. Now, Satiini has to be proud of the fact that he was able to fend off that harassment and that rush for as long as he did, but he really needs to do something else now. He cannot excuse me, he cannot continue to just sit inside his base. He needs to perhaps make a break for it, perhaps do some drop play, or do some effective harassment, or do some very aggressive expanding. If he doesn't expand, if he doesn't try something different or new, he's just going to run straight into a group of gateway units that are going to be upgraded, and a Colossus now currently standing guard against what looks to be a very, very strong army. The Marines, however, do not have combat shield just quite yet, and as I say that, 6 seconds later they will have it. So you can see the Stalkers are down over here. The Stalkers do not have blink. There's only one Colossus, and this is going to be a very, very difficult situation to try to fight back. KiWiKaKi has a smaller army, or what feels like a smaller army, as the probes are now perhaps trying to engage over here, and more zealots are trying to warp in as well. Bunkers now being placed down, so that is a lot of SCVs just nearby, just in order to place down bunkers. SCVs taking a lot of damage, Stalkers, and now both sides battling it out. There's that Guardian Shield reducing the amount of damage, and now probes coming off the mineral line. Very important that those probes come off the mineral line in order to soak up some of that damage from the Thors, as the Colossus and Immortals just try to deal as much damage back. And now Satiini getting completely overrun at the base here, and there's the game. So KiWiKaKi able to fend off this attack. Satiini not really branching out and really having a difficult time trying to stop those early Stalkers. That was an interesting 6-gate play, and I think that was more of a mind trick by KiWiKaKi to get down that second gas. And by getting that second gas, you naturally start to think, okay, this isn't your standard 4-gate. By putting 4 probes on each gas, you get a little bit more gas. You don't hurt your mineral economy nearly as much, and you can warp in Stalkers much more easily. You can warp in sentries much more easily, and then trying to break that ramp. Satiini losing over a dozen SCVs trying to repair bunkers, and that's ultimately what did him in. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay between Satiini and KiWiKaKi here on Metalopolis.